Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Testing. Well, that's weird. For some reason, my focus rate wasn't sending signal in. Yeah, hope I sound okay. Let's see here. Let's try to get my streaming dashboard up. Stream manager, there we go. I also like to have that. Alright. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. What's the spoiler sound effect going off? Yeah, it's a little sound effect I created for spoilers. Spoilers. Anyway, get my... Let's put this over here. Put Streamlabs on over here so I can see it. Open up my show notes, because otherwise it's me talking like this. I don't think you want me to talk like this. I think you want me to actually say something worthwhile. And do me a favor, whoever is out there. Do you hear a high-pitched whine? Because if you don't, that's good. If you do, you know, it's just gonna drive me crazy, but it is what it is. All right, we are ready for recording. Woohoo! All right. I just want to check one thing.
It all went to hell.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Let's see. I'm sure recording's starting here.
If my children walk in, you edit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm working from home. It's
Yeah. Well, let's get started here. 3. I want to make sure my mic is on. Because if my mic isn't on, then we have a problem. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Tonight, new Padawans, Kate Mulgrew immortalized in Indiana. We remember Sir Sean Connery, and a special interview with producer Tom Constantino of The Orville. All that and more on the 100th edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of Multiverse Tonight. Yay! Now, I'm happy you've made it this far. I'm glad you're listening to this show. If you're watching this on YouTube later or on the live stream, you'll notice I made myself a brand new logo and a brand new title card. I haven't changed the recording yet. That's another time. You know, when I have time, or and I tell you what, if you have a good mic and a good way to record, if you want to record me a new opening, if you want to submit that in, Multiverse Tonight at multiversetonight.com, and If I use it, I'll give you credit. That's great. This show has been a labor of love for me. I would love to have 100 people giving me $2 each, or even one person giving me 50 cents. But that's not important. The important thing is this me getting things off my chest. This is pod therapy, using our podcast name, for me. It's a way for me to express myself. It's a way for me to talk to people, even if I don't get answers back or anything back in return. At least I'm getting myself out there. So we have a bit to talk about in the show. I have about a 15-minute interview with Tom Constantino, that I just recorded. So I'm going to basically put the uncut edition of this into the live stream. I'm probably going to cut it down for after tonight, but so you get the uncut version. So let's get started with some Star Wars news. Lucasfilm Publishing Executive Editor Jennifer Headley unveiled on StarWars.com a few of the Padawans that will be seen in the new High Republic books and more that are coming out next year. Included were Baraja Agabura, a Wookiee described by writer Charles Soule as, quote, "While he is skilled with his two-handed lightsaber, it is Baraga's natural, effortless ability to sense the emotions of others that sets him apart from other members of the Order," unquote. Reith Silas, a Padawan to Jedi Council member Jorah Malai, Lula Tali Sola, described by Daniel Joseph Older, the writer of IDW's The High Republic Adventures, as, quote, "all about the Jedi Order, she loves it, can hardly wait to get knighted, and wants to be the best Jedi that ever was. Besides being amazing and top of her class with lightsaber, she's loyal and compassionate and looks out for her two best friends, Farzala and Court, especially when they're chasing mischief," unquote. And Bel Zedifer, who is stationed on the Jedi outpost of Elforona in the Outer Rim with Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm. The High Republic kicks off on January 5th with Star Wars The High Republic Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. You know, I wonder about a Wookiee with a lightsaber. You know, when every time he gets touched by, he accidentally gets touched with a lightsaber, it just smell like burnt hair. Yeah. Star Wars attraction, the Galaxy's Edge, is going through, well, rough times as a lot of the cast members in the park are being laid off due to the pandemic's effects on park attendance. Now, layoffs are based on seniority. Unfortunately, those that transferred from Disneyland's California Adventure to the Galaxy's Edge are some of the first to get those layoff notices. You know, my heart truly goes out to these people. You know. Now, GameStop may have accidentally leaked the release date for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The game, which will be released for PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, was originally going to be released this year, but has now been delayed. GameStop's website lists the date as May 31st, 2021. However, it's cautioned that that date might just be a placeholder, since it's kind of odd for a game to be released on a Monday. Now, speaking of accidental leaks, news of a new Star Wars action game from EA Motive has leaked out, and there's scant details about it other than the studio. The leak came from a listing from EA Motive for a programmer. It mentioned that, quote, "the team is starting immediately on an upcoming Star Wars action game, and it will also be building original IP," unquote. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Apparently, after people found out about that, they removed that wording from the listing for that job. So, yeah, we'll see what we see. Now, let's go on to the Star Trek news. Star Trek Prodigy will have music from Nami Muhammad, according to Film Music Reporter. Nami previously scored the short Trek episode Q&A. She will have the honor of scoring new moments with a known starship captain. Has also joined the show as Kate Mulgrew as Captain Catherine Janeway. And at a Q&A for our next story, she revealed what brought her back to Trek. Quote, "Well, frankly, the negotiations took quite a long time. When Alex Kurtzman presented me with this idea, I wasn't entirely sure, and then over the months, the conversation evolved into what we could bring to an entirely new demographic of watchers. I thought the idea of bringing this to young minds was just too exciting, too evocative, and too promising," unquote. Now, she answered that during the Q&A for the unveiling of the Captain Catherine Janeway statue in the captain's future hometown of Bloomington, Indiana. Kate Mulgrew attended the unveiling virtually, of course, and Robert Picardo sent in a video. The statue is of the character from the waist up atop a pedestal that says, "Future birthplace of Captain Catherine Janeway, Bloomington, Indiana, Earth, May 20th, 2336. Now, Ms. Mulgrew said about the honor, quote, I'm not often rendered speechless, but in this moment I am. How many people have such a marvelous thing done in their honor, in their memory? It's a wonderful comment on Janeway's legacy, and hearing you all speak today is deeply moving to me. To realize that Janeway has had such an important role in your lives, and I think in cultural history, it not only terribly affecting for me, but makes me want to go forth in a new way, and I am doing that with Prodigy. But this recognition is something extraordinary to me, and I am deeply proud to be honored in this way, unquote. Now, the statue is located on the Beeline Trail next to the Wonderlab Museum in downtown Bloomington. A new Star Trek Picard novel will give us some backstory on what happened to the Titan after the attack on Mars that eventually saw Captain Picard forced into retirement. Admiral Picard. Star Trek Picard, The Dark Veil, will be written by James Swallow. Here's the synopsis quote. The Alpha Quadrant is mired in crisis. Within the United Federation of Planets, a terrorist strike on the shipyards of Mars has led to the shutdown of all relief efforts for millions of Romulans, facing certain doom from an impending supernova. But when the USS Titan is drawn into a catastrophic incident on the Romulan Federation border, Captain William Riker, his family, and his crew find themselves caught between the shocking secrets of an enigmatic alien species and the deadly agenda of the ruthless Tal Shiar operative. Forced into a wary alliance with his Romulan starship commander, Riker and the Titan crew must uncover the truth to stop a devastating attack, but one wrong move could plunge the entire sector into open conflict. Unquote. The novel goes on sale on January 5th. Now, this piece of news goes out to my European listeners. The British Royal Mail announced that they will be issuing a 12-stamp collection of stamps celebrating Star Trek. The stamps, with art by Freya Betts, depicts Captain James T. Kirk, Spock, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Commander Deanna Troi, Captain Benjamin Sisko, Dr. Julian Bashir, Captain Catherine Janeway, Captain Jonathan Archer, Lieutenant Malcolm Reed, Captain Gabriel Lorca, Lieutenant Ash Tyler, and Commander Michael Burnham, and additional short sheet of 6 stamps with characters played by British and British Commonwealth actors. Those characters are Montgomery Scott, Shinzon, Tolian Soren, Klingon Chancellor Gorkon, Carol Marcus, and Krall. That's, of course, the movie Carol Marcus from Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, Amazon has announced that November is Star Trek month on the shopping site. On sale will be Star Trek Discovery Season 1 Blu-ray DVD. The collection includes 15 episodes from the first season, as well as featurettes and special features. Now, also up for sale is Star Trek Discovery Season 2 Blu-ray and DVD, Star Trek Picard Season 1 Limited Edition Blu-ray Steelbook, which I have. It's a gorgeous steelbook, by the way. Star Trek Short Treks Blu-ray DVD, the Star Trek 10 Movie Stardate Collection Blu-ray, the Star Trek Picard Movie TV Collection Blu-ray, and the complete series collections for Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Next Generation, Voyager, and the original series. Now, let's get to that interview with our good friend Tom Constantino of the Orville.
It all went to hell.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Let's see. I'm sure my recording's starting here.
If my children walk in, you edit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm working from home. It's
Yeah. Well, let's get started here. 3, 2, 1. My guest today is one of my favorites from the past 100 episodes, and I'm so glad that he's graciously come back to talk sci-fi with us. Please welcome producer of the Orville, Tom Constantino.
Oh, thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm looking like I just got out of bed, even though I didn't.
Oh, that's great. I mean, my hair needs cutting and everything too. So.
Quarantine edition, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't had the quarantine. I'm an essential worker at Walmart. So.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, so you've been in, huh?
Yes. Yeah. The protocol to get into my work is busy. I gotta go in. I gotta have temperature check. I answer questions. I mean, It is. It's
Uh,
dangerous.
reduced capacity in the whole thing, or
We were going at reduced capacity for a while. It was they reduced the store to I think a third, which is like 600 people can be in at once. We never have 600 people.
no? Oh yeah, of
No,
course.
not at our store. Lately, they've gone away with that, but they'll probably snap that right back, especially this month because we have all our Black Friday stuff. So they're gonna
Oh yeah, I can't
reintroduce that.
keep forgetting it's November.
Yeah. So how's everything else gone for this year for you?
Aside from the world quasi coming to an end, no, I won't make jokes. I mean, I'm just, everyone on my end's healthy, and just trying to live in this new homeschooling, zooming,
Mhm.
not being at, not having normalcy kind of thing. So,
Well, that's good. And you've been away from fires this year because last year
oh,
had fires
yes.
around.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. I actually did we interview when it was like literally on fire? Like I don't.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
it
remember
was.
that. Yeah, no. It just smells like smoke outside all the time. But I mean, I've had friends who've had to evacuate, and there it's the AQI is an average of 50 points higher this year every day.
Ooh,
Sunny
yeah,
California.
yeah. All right. Well, I know. There's not much you can tell me about the Orville. Is there anything? Just a little hint? Nothing.
Uh, I blessed. The thing I could say is I think hopefully things will be back on track very soon.
Excellent, excellent.
For shooting. Yeah, no, it's nothing's official, but hopefully everyone can rest easy with
Well,
good
good,
safety protocols in place. So yeah, so hope there. I think there's good news coming down the pike. I would say
good,
I would say more than cautiously optimistic.
excellent, excellent.
All right.
Now, of course, I brought you here to talk about sci-fi in general.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? You mean in terms of sci-fi as of late?
Yeah, sci-fi, geeky
It's
things.
funny. Well, it's funny because I've sort of been taking a little break from sci-fi. I still obviously have to watch The
Mhm.
Mandalorian season two. What have I sat down and watched all of Rogue One the other day, just out of nowhere. I just was on, and so I did that. But I've been doing things like I watched The Vow,
Ah,
which is about the Nixium
mhm.
cult.
Yeah.
I'm late to the game, but the show alone, the survival. I don't know if there's like a cult survival theme going on, but I watched that as well. I have to catch up on Lost in Space because I've
Mhm.
been dying to check that out. Um, but yeah, there hasn't been too much of sci-fi. I mean, honestly, I end up watching old clips of Wrath of Khan on the YouTube. It's sort of yeah. I go to the comfort food right away. There's been some TNG on BBC that I've that's on, and I'm watching the whole episode. That's
Well,
kind of where I'm at.
have you been watching any of the new Star Trek shows lately?
Oh, I have watched a little bit. I have to catch up with the new Discovery season.
Mhm.
I finally watched Picard. Obviously I loved it. It's hard for me because as a person making space TV, I have
Mhm.
feelings, and as a strict fan, I can't just, I don't feel like I have the privilege to just, love or dump something. It's a whole different experience for me. But no, I will watch it eventually. But like I was just late, like Picard finished, and then 2 months later I watched.
Mhm.
That's just the way my life runs. But obviously it was great.
Mhm.
I'm very much for comfort food. So the best part of Picard was obviously seeing Frakes and Nimzadi show up with,
Oh yeah.
like that's the kind of stuff that just gets me going, and Jerry Ryan and all that stuff. So
So, if CBS and Viacom showed up at your door and said, "Pitch me a new Star Trek show," do you have any idea what you would want to pitch?
oh my God, that's a good question. What would I want to pitch? I would go call Michael Dorn, and he'd be like, "Who the hell are you?" And I would do the Worf series.
Ooh, I
I would
love
watch that all
series.
day long. I don't need to make up. I would do a Worf series, and I would do anything. Obviously seeing Janeway back, I
Hmm.
would love to. I'd watch her read the phone book. So
Yeah.
those would be the two. I would need to think about if I wanted to do something original, original.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would be very much into the Worf series. I just think that that's a lot of mileage. And obviously, George Takei is too, I would have loved the Sulu series. That would have been the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
That.
say, randomly, I went down a
Mhm.
deep rabbit hole about, I can't remember the name of the episode from Voyager where they had to reshoot, they redid the whole Praxis explosion. I went down that
Oh yeah.
rabbit hole for a while, and comparing the shots and doing that. Like, that's what I do. I look like side-by-side comparisons. Like, I end up watching old, for no reason, I'll watch the old VFX, comparison from the original series 1 to the updated ones that Kuda and those gang did. That's how I spend my time.
Oh yeah.
It's pathetic.
Well, totally different topic, but dealing with the character of Worf. Who'd win in a fight between Bortus and Worf?
Oh, with weapons or without?
Let's go without.
I think Bortus, because Mocklins are very strong and Peter's a real big guy. If there were the bathless or guns, Peter's got good aim, but Worf with a sword, I would be scared of. So that would be my. I think you couldn't just run the table.
Yeah, I see your point there. Now, speaking of other sci-fi, The Mandalorian has those virtual sets. What could you use those virtual sets for?
Well, we did actually. We had it for our view screen in season 1. Matter of fact, it was John, I believe, who had the idea along with another producer, Jason Clark, and it wasn't because it locked us in too early. We ended up going to green screen because we had more flexibility. But basically, our huge view screen was basically what the Mandalorian did, and obviously the Mandalorian expanded it. It's more 360. So if we were to have it back, I'm sure there's a couple of planets. Be great for the simulator room.
Yep.
But we a lot of us takes place in the ship. We're like a fundamentally different show. We go to planets sometimes, and we usually find a location. So it's a different methodology, but we experience it. I mean, the way they've used it is great, obviously, and the other time I ever thought that's worked was like once again Rogue One, where they used it for the cockpit stuff. But yeah, that's what I would say. I would probably use it for the simulator room if we could.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And they're Disney.
Yeah, it's stupid. They're bright as hell.
Yep.
I mean, they have their issues. This is a lot of technical, but there's a lot of tears and a lot of technical issues with them. They're really great for interactive lighting, and landscapes. As a view screen, having finished battle shots, it was not always practical.
Now, when you're watching shows like The Mandalorian, do you think about, how did they do that? Or
yes, all the time. And sometimes I know how they did it because we're doing it or they're doing. Yeah, I mean, yes, but I'm always. Yeah, there's always it's always fun to see what other people are coming up with. But then sometimes I just get stressed out. Let me turn down. Someone's on my Avid here. Because it just reminds me of not sleeping and working 100 hours a week. So, but there's some pretty, not just The Mandalorian. I mean, they do some great stuff, but even some great things on Discovery, and even like I'm a big fan of shows that you need to do the real hidden visual effects, set extensions and creating worlds that they did through virtual production versus going out and shooting it. So that stuff gets me too.
Yeah. Now, with I was thinking the other day, with shows having smaller and smaller episode counts per season, is 100 episodes really an achievable milestone for most shows anymore?
No. Yes, but you have to think about if you're 10 or 8 or 12 episodes, you got to go 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, and at a certain point, everything's at a quasi feature level now. I mean, the Marvel shows are feature level, and everybody's achieved. There's probably 25, 30 shows of this scale and magnitude. It's I know people complain about the 22 episode thing. We would literally die. It's just too much. So I don't know if it's achievable. I mean, if you're a comedy or something, maybe, but even like HBO, they run 13 eps. and you can't go, more. You start getting beyond 6, 7 seasons, you just run out of steam.
Yeah, you look at shows like The Next Generation and all the they had a lot of good shows, but they had a lot of filler shows
Yeah.
too to stretch out the season. So in
Well,
other
less
words,
coverage, less effects,
yeah,
different methodology.
mm-hmm.
They were great shows, but it's it's the demand is now. I mean, everything gets scrutinized. I mean, which is great because it keeps you on your toes, but it keeps you on your toes.
Yep. And here's a thought: should sci-fi shows have a message and a moral to them? Because some of the shows nowadays, it's just kind of more action than anything else.
I mean, I'm part of the optimistic sci-fi crowd. Like, if I want to go, like, I don't like the two mixing. Like, I like my Battlestar Galacticas and I like my Star Treks. I like the optimistic, happy, fun stuff. And then when I want to go dark, I want to go dark. I have trouble mixing the two, but like I said, I'm an old man. It's old school. So do I think it needs to have a message? No. Does it help? Yeah. I mean, I think it adds some layering storytelling to the complexity of it all, but not necessarily, different strokes for different folks, I guess. You know what I mean? different. It's, I don't bemoan somebody loving something that I don't. I mean, there's only a few things that I have true haterade for, which you can ask me another time because that's the thing about it. But anyway, long story. That was a long answer, but I think a message helps, but isn't necessarily the key. Like, I'll say Cobra Kai, for example, like that show's got heart, and that's why it works. It's not just seeing the characters again. If it was just all Johnny and, Ralph Macchio fighting or stuff, it wouldn't have it, but it's all the heart that's layered underneath. And I feel like your sci-fi needs that as well.
Now, thinking about crews and sci-fi and everything, who would win in a battle between the Orville crew and the Next Generation crew?
Oh my God! Don't make me answer that. That worked for them. Orville's scrappy, but I don't know. I think the Enterprise D would probably cut right through the damn thing. I am not impartial. I can't. Yeah. Although Ed has been, acquitted himself quite a good captain. So I don't know. Actually, I don't actually know. Funny enough, I had to really think. I don't know the answer. Orville's got some tricks up her sleeve, but I can't go against my Next Generation crew. You're wounding me.
By the way, how's Seth have all this time? I mean, he just recently announced that he and Danny McBride were doing a revival of Smokey and the Bandit. He's doing these jazz concerts on Instagram, the Orville, the animated shows. How is he human?
I question that sometimes. I think he's superhuman. No, he's a smart. He's a super smart guy and likes to keep active. And I know he loves the show, so obviously that's one of his priorities. But he's a man of, I always joke on Twitter. I said multi-hyphenate, but he really is. So yeah, no, he's I learn a lot from him every day from a production standpoint, and he tends to think 3 or 4 moves ahead, and sometimes you can keep up with him, and sometimes you're arguing the move number 2, but he's actually in move number 5, and then you catch up with him and go, oh, I see what you were doing there. That made complete sense. You were just way ahead of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And finally, what are you looking forward to on the horizon? In 2021, what are you looking forward to?
Going to a restaurant again, hopefully. Being the new normal, and hopefully finishing up production of season 3 of the show, so people can finally see it.
Yes,
but no, just a little more peace in the world, and health for everybody. I can't be trivial about that. It would be nice to. It's been a long road so far for everyone, I believe, on planet Earth.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Yeah, and we're not even there. We're still in the here.
All right. Well, I know you have other things to do, and I have podcasts to record today as well. So, yep. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Sorry again about the T-shirt, the 911. Like, I'm just like a train wreck, but I appreciate you having me. It's always fun talking to you.
That's okay, Tom Constantino. I wish you the best of luck, the best of health.
Thank you. You too.
Stay safe. and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Okay, bye.
Great.
Back here just a second. So here's a question, folks. Where I get Here's a question. How? Yeah. You think it was a good interview? I thought it was a good interview. He is a great guy for joining me like that. You know, he could have just said no. But he's a very nice guy, and I hope, you know, once everything gets back to normal and back to everything, that we get to have some more guests from the Orville. You know, he would love to bring more people on, but you know, right now he's stuck at home. Anyway, let's go on with some geek news. Amazon has ordered a new sci-fi drama from legendary television. Light Years centers around a couple named Franklin and Irene York, who years earlier discovered the chamber buried in their backyard, which leads to a strange deserted planet. Since then, they've guarded the secret until an enigmatic young man enters their lives. Their life is upended, and the mysterious chamber turns out to be much more than they could have possibly imagined. Now, no word on when the show will be expected to come to the service. Actor Jeff Bridges has announced that he's been diagnosed with a lymphoma, which is the cancer of the lymphatic system. He posted on Twitter, quote, "As the dude would say, new bleep has come to light. I've been diagnosed with lymphoma. Although it is a serious disease, I feel fortunate that I have a great team of doctors, and the prognosis is good. I'm starting treatment, and will keep you posted on my recovery. I'm profoundly grateful for the love and support of my family and friends. Thank you for your prayers and well wishes, and while I have you, please remember to go vote, because we are all in this together," unquote. I think we wish him all the best of health. Ghostbusters Afterlife has been pushed back another 3 months to June 11th, almost a year after it was originally supposed to be released this past July. The sequel to in other movie news, the sequel to Don't Breathe has been given a date of August 13th, 2021, the same date as 20th Century's Deep Water starring Ben Affleck. Spectrum Originals and AMC are producing a new series based on the Beacon 23 novel by Hugh Howey. The story, described as a suspenseful thriller/love story, is set in the farthest reaches of space and is about a couple trapped on a lighthouse at the end of the known universe. This show will be created, executive produced, and showrun by Alpha's showrunner and the Avengers co-writer Zach Penn, along with Ira Stephen Bear, Katie O'Connell Marsh, and Elsa Ellis. Arnold Schwarzenegger is recovering from surgery at the Cleveland Clinic to replace his aortic valve. The actor tweeted, quote, "Thanks to the team at the Cleveland Clinic, I have a new aortic valve to go along with my new pulmonary valve from my last surgery. I feel fantastic, and I've already been walking the streets of Cleveland, enjoying your amazing statues. Thank you to every doc and nurse on my team," unquote. Now, this isn't his first open heart surgery. He had a valve replaced in 1997 and emergency open heart surgery to replace that valve again later. Now, we close out the show with some sad news. Sir Sean Connery has passed away in his sleep at his home in Nassau in the Bahamas. He was born Thomas Sean Connery in Edinburgh, Scotland on August 25th, 1930. He left school at the age of 13 and started delivering milk. He polished coffins and laid bricks before eventually joining the Royal Navy in 1946. He was discharged 3 years later because of a duodenal ulcer. He would then work as a lorry driver, a lifeguard, an artist model, and in his spare time, he would do bodybuilding. He could have played soccer for Manchester United, but decided to go into acting instead. In 1953, while he was competing in the Mr. Universe competition, for which he got placed third that year, he heard that South Pacific was looking for parts in the course. By the next year, he had landed the role of Lieutenant Buzz Adams, and encouraged by American actor Robert Henderson, he educated himself on the works of Ibsen, Shakespeare, and Bernard Shaw and began taking elocution lessons. In 1957, he got his first leading role in Blood Money, a BBC reworking of Requiem for a Heavyweight, and then came the role that would make him famous worldwide when producers Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman began searching for an actor to play the lead character in Ian Fleming's novels James Bond. It was Cubby's wife Dana who persuaded her husband that Connery had the magnetism and sex appeal for the part. Now, Ian Fleming, on the other hand, was not that impressed at first. However, once he saw him on the screen, the author made James Bond half Scottish in some of the later novels. Now, Sean would go on to play the secret agent in a total of 7 movies: Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever, and Never Say Never Again. However, there was a huge break between Diamonds Are Forever and Never Say Never Again because the role and pressure of that role put him into just eventually walking away from it. But he returned for Never Say Never Again, and he would go on to do other movies like The Name of the Rose, Time Bandits, The Man Who Would Be King, Zardoz, Highlander, The Untouchables, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Hunt for Red October, The Rock, Dragonheart, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, First Knight, The Avengers, that's the British Avengers, of course, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and much, much more. Now, he was offered the role of Gandalf, but he declined, claiming not to have understood the script. He also turned down the role of the architect in The Matrix for similar reasons. He moved to the Bahamas in the 1990s and was eventually knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2000, which had been held up by the Labour Party because of his support of Scottish independence. Sean Connery retired from acting in 2006. Over his career, he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in The Untouchables, the British Academy Film Award for Best Actor for The Name of the Rose, as well as the BAFTA Fellowship, 2 Golden Globe Awards, one for Best Supporting Actor for The Untouchables, and the World Film Favorite Male, aka the Henrietta Award, as well as the Cecil B. DeMille Award. On top of being knighted by the Queen, he has been made a Commander of the Order of Arts and Letters in France, the Kennedy Center Honors, the European Film Awards Lifetime Achievement Award, and the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, he was married twice, the first to actress Diane Cleanto. They had 1 son, Jason Connery, and his second and last marriage to Moroccan-French painter Micheline Roquebrune, the greatest James Bond, Sean Connery, passed away in his sleep on Halloween. A life well lived. He was 90 years old. Now, that brings us to the end of the sci-fi news. Be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute to the show, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to the Coffee, Patreon, and Glow.fm links, as well as going to Multiverse Tonight and just hitting the Support Me link at the top of the page. We'll do the same. And be sure to visit multiversetonight.com to check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, our show notes, and so much more. And if you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. Leave me some feedback. Let me know how we're doing. And special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with a brand new comic book edition. Now please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2020. All rights reserved. folks. I'm going to take this message here for a second. The good news, I'm off tomorrow, because he would, I got time to edit. Alright, let's get on to our next show. I got everything set. Oop, never pushed stop on the record. Oh well. That's why I have, I'm glad I have time to edit today. Three, two, one. Tonight, Green Lantern plans to go big on HBO Max. What is the plural of Cyclops? And Seth MacFarlane and Danny McBride are eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. They gonna do what they say can't be done on Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 101. Not Dalmatians, but episodes of Multiverse Tonight. I'm glad to start this new run of 100 episodes. Of course, it took me over 2 years to get to 100, so we got another 2 years at least to get to this, episode 200. And about a year to get to episode 150, so we got plenty of time for more. And I'm looking forward to what the future has in store. But right now, I just want to tell you the comic book news, starting with DC. The Batman is filming in the United Kingdom until February next year, giving it just over a year to work on post-production before its March 4th, 2022 release date. Now, the film most recently had to halt production after lead Robert Pattinson tested positive for COVID-19. He has since then been recovering. HBO Max's Green Lantern series will be written like a TV show but have feature film level production values, according to producer Mark Guggenheim. Now, Mr. Guggenheim commented on the series during a panel that he had recorded for Comic-Con International's website and released as part of the Storytelling Across Media mini-conference. Mark said, quote, "I happen to believe, and this is not a universally held opinion, that you can't do a 10-hour show or an 8-episode show like an 8-hour movie. I don't think that works. When I see it done, there's always some flabby episodes in the middle. I think you have to approach it like a TV series and approach each episode like it's its own entity. Even though it's streaming, even though hopefully people will binge it, you've got to make each episode a satisfying meal. You've got to look at it with a different tempo than you would have in a 2-hour movie. Now, that being said, certainly the show for HBO Max that we're all working on, we are approaching it with the production ambitions of a movie. So we're writing it like a TV show, but we're hoping to produce it like a film. You know, I absolutely agree with that. You have to, you can't make a 13-hour movie. It's just not good. You end up with episodes that just, are garbage because all you're doing is just moving chess pieces around for the next big act. So yeah, I totally agree with them. Have production values like a movie, but write like it's a TV show. Now, in the exclusive to The Hollywood Reporter, it's been made known that Jared Leto will be reprising the role for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Now, shooting of this new material for the movie is currently underway with Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, Amber Heard, and Jared Leto. Also joining the reshoots is Joe Manganiello, who will reprise Deathstroke for the film. Now, Deathstroke first appeared in the 2017 cut of the movie as a post-credits scene with Lex Luthor. So this will be basically more material. Suicide Squad director David Ayer, in response to a fan question about what was the toughest scene to leave on the cutting room floor, said, quote, "the first 40 minutes," unquote. Now, he went on to say that the movie was, quote, "ripped to pieces," and he can't emphasize that enough. The call for Warner Bros. To make an Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad has been getting a lot of push recently, even by Cedric the Entertainer, who in a recent cameo appearance on the site Cameo, where you can pay people to give you well wishes and stuff like that, said, "HBO Max, AT&T, listen, y'all gotta release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. It's time, the Ayer cut, man. We're all waiting for it. You know what I mean? That's the one, and everybody, you all know this. When we do this, all of the proceeds will go to charity. We want y'all to ask for it. Hit him up, and then bring back Jared Leto as the Joker, and do the Harley Quinn Joker movie. That's necessary. Quit playing the Ayer cut. Let's get it. Let's go. I want to see it. Oh no, you want to see it. Suicide Squad gang. Let's go, baby." Unquote. Now, again, take this as, this is a site where these actors are basically making money for, wishing people happy birthday. So, take that with a grain of salt. We don't know if, he was paid to say exactly that, or if someone just asked him to say something about it. The new Superman series, Superman and Lois, has recruited Degrassi, the Next Generation star Stacey Faber, to play a new character named Leslie Lar. Her character description reads, quote, "the right hand to one of the most influential people on the planet. She's gone from a young idealistic dreamer to a hardened, world-worn dream killer. Athletic, strong, and oftentimes heartless." So, she's a member of the Trumps? Just kidding. Obviously it's Lex Luthor. But, I'll be interested to see how that character lands. Why The Last Man is finally getting in front of cameras. FX on Hulu has announced the start of production. Now, the series stars Diane Lane, Ashley Romans, Ben Schnichter, Olivia Thirlby, Amber Tamblyn, Marin Ireland, Diana Bang, Elliot Fletcher, and Juliana Canfield. And there's no word on when this series will air. So, again, your mileage may vary. Doom Patrol's second season is going to Blu-ray and DVD this January 26th, 2021. The official press release says, quote, "get ready to embrace the strange. DC's favorite misfit heroes are back to save the world, and once again with the release of Doom Patrol, the complete second season on Blu-ray and DVD on January 26, 2021 from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. Strap yourself in for an exhilarating ride with all 9 episodes from the second season of the original DC series, plus enjoy the captivating extra features behind 2 behind-the-scenes featurettes. Doom Patrol, the second season, is priced to own at $29.98 suggested retail price for the DVD, and $39.99 suggested retail price for the Blu-ray, which includes a digital copy, U.S. only. Both sets have, let's see, DC's strangest fall to the defeat of Mr. Nobody. The Doom Patrol finds himself mini-sized and stranded on Cliff's toy car racetrack. Here they begin to deal with the feelings of betrayal with Niles Calder, aka the Chief, while confronting their own personal baggage. As each superhero faces the challenge of moving beyond trauma and failure, they must come together to protect the newest family member, Niles' daughter, whose powers remain a mysterious but real threat to bringing the end of the world. Unquote. Doom Patrol has been renewed for a third season on HBO Max. Probably next year. TV's new Batwoman, Ryan Wilder, will not only debut on TV, but will also debut in the final issue of the Batwoman comic. The issue, which will hit shops on November 27th, so just a few days back from when I record this, shows that Ryan is living out of a van and disillusioned with the system. Now that's apparently not how the TV version will be. That's just how the comics version of Ryan Wilder will be. Season 2 is expected in January. Neil Gaiman has been teasing fans on the production of Netflix's adaptation of Sandman. Speaking with Yahoo, Gaiman said on watching the first footage from the show, quote, "I have been watching dailies, but nothing produced the profound emotional reaction on me than watching a camera test on our Morpheus in his glass prison did. I saw him and said, ooh, this is Sandman," unquote. He also teased some of the stories that would be in Season 1, including 24 Hours, Dream a Little Dream of Me, A Hope in Hell, and Collectors. But he also promised that the show would be scary, saying, quote, "It will be scary, but it will be lots of other things too, because the joy of Sandman is that it's a lot of different things in the soup, and you can taste all the flavors," unquote. Now, no official date has been given for the release, but it's been suggested that they're aiming at late 2021, early 2022. Now, let's go on to the Marvel news. The new Blade movie, starring Mahershala Ali, is moving towards the writing stage. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Marvel is looking for writers, saying, quote, "Current projects that studios are hoping to populate with black behind-the-camera talent include Marvel's Blade movie, starring Mahershala Ali, which is looking for writers," unquote. Now, the current wisdom is that Blade will be aimed at the October of 2022, but, of course, in this time of COVID, that is subject to change. Now, hopefully they can get Wesley Snipes in for a cameo. And we all need to push for that. I really want to see Wesley Snipes show up. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier star Anthony Mackie says that shooting during a pandemic is, well, kind of hard. The series was in the middle of shooting when the pandemic hit. Now, 6 months later, they're back filming in the Czech Republic with health and safety protocols in mind. Now, Mackie told Entertainment Weekly, quote, "Everybody's very afraid of each other. The food is bad because they have to pack it up somewhere else and bring it to us in Ziploc bags. It's awful. You're literally living in quarantine. It's not like the NBA bubble where they have a barber shop and friends to hang out with. No, if you get within 6 feet of somebody, there's some little Czech dude coming and poking you with a stick saying, 'You have to move.' So it's rough," unquote. Now, the short 6-episode series was originally going to be the first Marvel series out of the gate, but now WandaVision will be. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be out sometime in early 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has wrapped up principal photography in Australia. Filmmaker Destin Creighton celebrated the fact that with an Instagram photo saying with the words "we are wrapped." Now, not to be outdone, is star Simu Liu followed up with a post of his own of him and Creighton saying, quote, "We made a baby. We can't wait to introduce him to the world in 9 months," unquote. The Marvel movie is due out on July 9th, 2021. Now, some big news concerning the Moon Knight series. First, it's been reported that Star Wars star Oscar Isaac is in talks to play the role of Moon Knight / Mark Spector, And it's now also being reported that Mohamed Diab has been tapped to direct the series. Diab's work includes the 2016 Cannes Film Festival's Clash and the Cairo 68. Both are the highest grossing Egyptian and Arabic titles of all time. Now, no official word on either Oscar Isaac or Mohamed Diab has been forthcoming. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary is stepping up to help you with your grammar. Specifically, how do you say the plural of cyclops? Now, here's their post, quote, "Unlike most rules of pluralization, the plural of cyclops is cyclopses. Instead of adding es to cyclops, the plural is adapted from the Latin base singular cyclop or cyclop, and thus the plural became cyclopses. With that grammar laid out, the plural cyclops, which is the proper noun ending in s that denotes a mythical giant creature, should be either cyclopses or cyclops. But usage evidence doesn't concur. The most common plural form of cyclops, which is now frequently found in lowercase, is cyclopes. Cyclopes, unquote. So there you have it. If you want to know what to call a bunch of different versions of Cyclops that show up in the X-Men crossover, you have your official word, Cyclopses. Now, let's go on with some geek news. Ryan Reynolds picked a hell of a year to go out to vote for the first time in America. Ryan and his wife, Blake Lively, showed off with smiles and a photo on Instagram with the caption, quote, "This is my first time voting in America. I'd like to thank my wife, Blake, for making my first time so gentle and loving. It was super scary at first, then exciting, and now I'm a little tired, but proud. Hashtag vote early," unquote. His new movie, Free Guy, is due in theaters on December 11th. The Willow sequel series has been given an official green light. The series, which will have Willow director Ron Howard as executive producer, with Warwick Davis back as hero Willow Ufgood, has Crazy Rich Asians director John M. Chu has been tapped to direct the pilot, and executive produce Jonathan Kasdan and Wendy Marcella has been tapped to serve as showrunners. It's been a long time since I've watched that movie. I wonder if it still holds up. I'll have to sit down and watch it. It's on Disney Plus. Quibi, the short-form video series provider, is shutting down. The startup, which raised $2 billion in initial funding, never found an audience. The service launched just this past April, just in time for the pandemic, but never really got out of the blocks, even though the app has been downloaded almost 9.6 million times since launch. Now, Quibi founders Meg Whitman and Jeffrey Katzenberg, in a statement, said, quote, "Because the idea itself wasn't strong enough to justify a standalone streaming service, or because of our timing, unfortunately, we will never know. But we suspect it's been a combination of the two," unquote. Yeah, I'm afraid those commercials that they aired never really interested me in watching it. Besides, I have so much other stuff to watch. I don't have time for short form video even. FXX's series, Archer, has been given a 12th season. This news arrives before the last episode of the 11th season. Now, FX president of original programming, Nick Grad, said, quote, "Archer is back in a big way this season, with viewership up as the Emmy Award-winning spy series returns to its roots and begins to plot a 12th season next year. Our thanks to executive producers Adam Reed, Matt Thompson, Casey Willis, and the entire team at Floyd County Productions for keeping Archer as fun as ever and true to form. Together with its unbelievable voice cast, Archer is set to give fans another great season," unquote. Now, viewership for the first 5 episodes of Season 11 were up 32% over Season 10. Yeah, I think people just wanted the show to get back to normal. The fantasy episode, the fantasy seasons were great. The coma years were great, but I just really wanted the show to get back to where it was. Seth MacFarlane and Danny McBride are bringing TV a Burt Reynolds movie from the 70s. Smokey and the Bandit will come from the writing team of David Jordan Green and Brian Brandon James of Rough House Pictures, with Danny McBride, Jody Hill, and Seth MacFarlane and Erica Higgins of Fuzzy Door teaming up to bring the show to life. Now, no network has been named. Wonder who will get the star in it. Go Seth. Muppet Babies are going to court. Yeah, that's an odd sentence. Muppet Babies are going to court. Disney is being sued by Jeffrey Scott, a TV screenwriter of many 80s shows. He alleges that the new Muppet Babies show that Disney created misappropriates elements from the original Muppet Babies production Bible he created and he says he owns. Now, according to the complaint filed in California federal court, back in 1983, Muppet Babies, which was produced then by Marvel Productions and the Jim Henson Company, contracted Mr. Scott to help with the creation of the show. He got $12,000 per script plus a royalty of $3,500 for each new episode, plus a developed for television by credit. The complaint reads, quote, Scott is a registered owner of the copyright in the Muppet Babies production Bible. The Muppet Babies production Bible created the show's nursery setting, the child versions of the characters, the mix of entertainment and education, and its blueprint for the stories. Scott created, developed, and refined character traits, running gags associated with each character, and the characters' relationships with each other, unquote. Now, Scott also claims that the character of Nanny is his creation, and so the setting of the nursery. Scott is claiming copyright infringement, breach of contract stemming from his 80s deal, breach of implied contract arising from the alleged agreement for compensation for his recent idea submissions, and fraud. We'll keep an eye on this for any future developments, and I'll include a link in the show notes to the document that was filed in court. Rick and Morty co-creator Dan Harmon said at the digital version of the Paley Fest that the Clone Beth mystery will play a major role in Season 5. He said, quote, You know as much as Rick knows. I don't want to keep secrets with the audience. She's Schrodinger's Beth right now. The fact she may or may not be a clone is actually the important thing. It's the profound revelation about Rick's commitment to non-commitment and how abusive that can be as a parent. That is the important thing here. We're adding ants to the family. We're having fun looking at more options with Space Beth, unquote. It also looks like the Vat of Acid episode has broken Morty of his obsession with Jessica. He said, quote, There's an episode in Season 5 where Morty has a relationship with another female character that's not Jessica. It's a great little story, and my longtime friend and collaborator John Schrab wrote it. Schrab has a natural dictatorial instinct. He is also a tender writer, like a very juvenile John Hughes. He feels heartache on a level that a man his age shouldn't. There's an episode of Season 5 that my Emmy is going to, unquote. Paramount has moved the animated movie Rumble from January 19th, 2021 to May 14th, 2021. The movie, from Paramount Animation and WWE Studios, is based on the graphic novel by Rob Harrell and is set in a world where monster wrestling is a global sport and monsters are superstar athletes. The movie features the voice talents of Geraldine Vaswathan, Will Arnett, Terry Crews, WWE superstars Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns, Tony Danza, Stephen A. Smith, Jimmy Tatro, Ben Schwartz, and Michael Buffer. Well, sounds kind of interesting. I'll wait for it to go to streaming, though. It just doesn't appeal to me to go to movies. The strange talent of Luther Strode is getting a big screen adaptation. The movie is based on the Image comic and from the comic book series, or manager, I should say, from Justin Jordan and Trad Moore. The movie will be produced by all-nighters Dinesh Shamdasani, Hunter Gordonson, and Amanda Cruz. Justin Jordan is currently working on the screenplay, and in the press release, he's said, quote, Luther Strode remains one of my very favorite things I've ever worked on, and getting the chance to bring it to a new audience as a film is exciting beyond belief, especially since All Nighter is dedicated to staying true to all the foundations, from tone to the mythology, and of course the kinetic action exemplified by Trad's artwork that people have loved about the comic, unquote. HBO Max and Cartoon Network are reviving Tiny Toon Adventures for the streaming service. Now, Steven Spielberg will be back to executive produce Tiny Toons Looniversity. The show will follow the characters, minus Elmira Duff, as they go to Acme Looniversity. In other words, the same stuff they did in the original show. Amblin TV's co-presidents Justin Falvey and Daryl Frank said about the reboot, quote, "These smart, hilarious, and cheeky creatures have left an indelible impression on the childhoods of so many. We're thrilled to be able to continue our relationship with Warner Brothers Animation, HBO Max, and Cartoon Network to reimagine the Tiny Toons for new audiences. And we know that fans of the original series will be just as excited to share the show with their children as they will be to revisit a childhood favorite," unquote. Now, the reason for Elmira being left out of the show is not known. The word that she's being left out was broken by Elmira original voice actor Cree Williams, tweeting, quote, "I just got the word that Elmira will not be included in the Tiny Toons reboot," unquote. Now, there have been several possible reasons for her exclusion. Perhaps it's because her rights are tied up with Pinky and the Brain. Remember, they rebooted the Pinky and the Brain cartoon to be Elmira Pinky and the Brain. Or the fact that the character is associated with Elmer Fudd. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll learn. Sony is in talks to buy anime streaming service Crunchyroll from Warner Brothers Media. Sony reportedly will spend $957 million for the service. That's hundreds of millions more than they paid for Funimation in 2017. And this deal would give Sony a near total streaming monopoly on anime. Crunchyroll has around 70 million subscribers worldwide. And finally, Bette Midler says that Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy will be reprising their roles in the Hocus Pocus sequel that Disney has been working on. Bette told Fox 5 New York that, quote, "They want us to make a movie. They've asked us if we were interested, and of course all of us said yes. I'm game. I'm totally game," unquote. Now, there hasn't been any official word about casting or story details, but with everything that's been going on this year, that's, to be expected. And with that brings us to the end of the comic book news this time. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute some money, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to the Coffee, Patreon, and Glow.fm links, as well as just going over to multiversetonight.com and hitting the Support Me link at the top of the page. And while you're there, please check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, our show notes, and so much more. If you're a new subscriber, please be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, thank you. Be sure to subscribe. Leave us some feedback if you want, and let me know how we're doing. Well, special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. Now, we'll be back in just a couple of weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition and a brand new comic book edition. Now, please, exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2020, all rights reserved. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I thank you for joining me today. And I thank you for listening to the words I have to say. But now it's, time for me to go. I have other things to do today. And I want to get a snack before supper, so I'm not, ravishingly hungry. And if you're in America, tomorrow is election day. Go out and vote.